part of the journey is the end. Broken and in despair, defeated and dejected. When all seems lost, a glimmer of hope arrives. Everybody, here it is, the Avengers 4 trailer.
This thing on? Hey, Miss Potts. If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds. Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'll be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
We lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves. This is the fight of our lives.
This is going to work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. I got really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
All I can say is, wow, we've been waiting forever, ever since the Snapture, as what they call officially the decimation. At the end of Infinity War, we've all been like, yo, what's next? What's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen to the heroes? Like, we know that they're going to be in the dumps because they lost. Like, the Avengers actually lost. And so this trailer, it does lack action, unlike the Avengers 3 trailer, Infinity War trailer, where we got all the action. Well, a lot of action. And this one, it sucks you in by emotion. Okay, it sucks you in emotionally because here they open up with Tony being in peril, right? Tony is the face of the Marvel franchise, and we see him in this bad state to where he's like, yo, like, I'm out of food, I'm out of water, I ran out 4 days ago, tomorrow I'm about to run out of oxygen, you know, Pepper, when you find this, when I drift off, just know that I'll be dreaming of you, I always have been. And then he makes these, he says a couple of things here that's very noteworthy. He's foreshadowing quite a few things that I will highlight here. So after I get done rambling at this point, I'm going to give 8 of my points that I've noticed in this trailer. But one of the key things that he does say is that part of the journey is the end. The title is called EndGame, that they've always alluded to. And I will just say, for the record, that EndGame and Assemble were my top 2 theories on what Avengers 4 would be. My very first one was EndGame. I was certain it was EndGame, like many others were. But the Russos, those liars, they was like, oh no, it wasn't. The title Avengers 4 wasn't uttered in any of the in the movies. And so then I was like, okay, so if it is an EndGame, which we all thought it would be, then it has to be Assemble, because like we were teased with Assemble all throughout the 10 years that Marvel's been up. We never got Avengers Assemble on screen. So as he foreshadows, part of the journey is the end. that's all but tells us that the Avengers as we have known them over the last 10 years are going to be changed forever. I mean, of course, after seeing 50% of existence wiped out, right? Of course, that'd change anybody, but okay, so that's enough of me rambling on. Here are the top 8 things that I've noticed in this trailer, and I will attach my theories that correspond with them. My first one, clearly, Tony isn't dead, or he's not going to die in this moment. I don't think he's going to die in the movie, period, but he's not going to die. They are definitely playing up the drama and emotion, seeing Tony in this state, is because he has a lot of fans. So like, oh no, Tony's going to die. He's not going to die. Plus, they have to have him reconcile with Steve. They've been playing it up since the end of Civil War. They played it up in Infinity War when he was supposed to call. He was going to call Steve, but then he puts the phone back. They have to play that reconciliation up. It would be horrible and bad storytelling for the Russos to have Tony die in this moment and him and Steve not reconcile. So they're going to be reconciled. The Russos are great storytellers. They've done a fantastic job with all the movies they've done so far. So I know they're gonna. Then we see him and a clip of him and Nebula aboard the Milano, the empty Milano, and Tony is sitting in the driver's seat. All right, he's sitting in Quill's seat, and Nebula walks up and puts her hand on his shoulder or whatever. So it's like they're in this moment of like, okay, this is it. Like we're actually about to die, and it's like they have like no hope of survival, right? Because it's notice that's what Tony says. He makes a joke in his great sarcastic wit where he says that just for the record, being adrift in space with zero hope of rescue is more fun than it sounds. And so at this moment, like the whole theme of the trailer is like despair, but then there's hope. So Tony and Nebula like basically have like no hope to survive. Like we're about to die. You know, we're dragging this out. We're about to die. Like that's it. But who comes to their rescue, right? Captain Marvel, of course. I think it's the perfect segue to bring her in to the Avengers fold, because we see at the end of Infinity War, Fury paged her, and so she's going to be on her way back to Earth, and she might see the spacecraft. She might recognize it. She may have ran into the Guardians during their journeys or whatever, but she may see them, and she's going to rescue them and bring them back to Earth with her. So that's going to be a glimmer of hope for Tony, because like Tony has no hope. Like he saw Parker die, he saw the Guardians die, they just got whooped by Thanos. I'm sure he's a little bit familiar with what happened when he got away and he saw Quill and them disappear. He's like, okay, he accomplished his goal. My nightmares have came true. I couldn't prevent this. And so he's just lost it. So he's like at the bottom. But then Captain Marvel comes, she instills a little bit of hope. The first hope is by her rescuing him and Nebula. And after all, she is, one, the major key to defeating Thanos, one of the major keys. And two, she will be the face of the Marvel franchise for years afterward, as Tony and Steve and some of the other OG Avengers then take more of a back seat as the new team, the new Avengers, take over. Second thing, did you notice the Marvel logo, how it came in, then it dusted off? Like, you guys are such trolls. I noticed that. You guys jerks for that.
Start? I don't feel so good.
Number 3, we also get a nice callback to Farmer Thanos from the comics, where after the Infinity series was over, he retired to, I think it was Titan or whatever, but he retired to his home and he became a farmer. You see his armor propped up like a scarecrow, and he's walking through the fields and stuff. So they did a nice little callback to that. After that, we see my boy Cap and Black Widow talking. Steve's crying because he's hurt because like they lost, and he lost Bucky, and he lost Falcon, and so many other people are gone. And so they're going over the lost and stuff like that. And so again, we get this moment of like, man, like this great despair, and it's gonna be so much sweeter whenever they live up to their name, the Avengers, when they avenge the fallen. 5, we see Banner looking over a hologram of the Lost, and who is front and center? Scott Lang, right? You see Scott Lang, and then to the side you see Peter Parker, and then Bruce is just like, he can't believe it. All these people are gone because they couldn't defeat Thanos. But again, it's just like a nice little egg, okay, that they or a clue that they planted, because here they think that everybody's gone, right? And I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but here you think they think everybody's gone, and like they have Scott Lang up there, but at the end of the trailer he shows up, right? And so again, as they're in this moment of despair and defeat, Scott Lang arrives with hope, right? It's like, yo, like, we thought you died, like, how did you survive? And also it's important to remember that there's going to be a time jump, okay? So maybe like 5 or so years, whatever, but Scott Lang shows up, and then Cap's like, is this old footage? And she's like, no, he's at the front door. Black Widow's like, no, this is the front door, and he's talking to him. So again, it's also important to remember that Kevin Feige has said that Ant-Man's going to be important to defeating Thanos as well, for the Avengers correctness. And so at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, spoilers if you haven't noticed, if you haven't watched it yet, I don't know, but at the end of the movie, in the post-credit scene, he goes inside the quantum realm. When he goes inside the quantum realm, the decimation happens, right? And so everybody's gone, and he's stuck inside, and he ends up getting out somehow. And when he does get out, I'm guessing it's going to be maybe 5 or so years in the future. And so then he tells the Avengers about this, and so then he tells Cap. He tells Cap and them about what happened. And so then they get this idea, like, maybe we should go inside the quantum realm. And this is why I think that Tony's going to live in this moment, is because that we got those behind the scene pics of him and Cap and Ant-Man with these wrist devices on. And so I'm sure that either Tony or Shuri, but maybe both of them, are going to get together and create this tech for them to go inside the quantum realm, and to either go and collect Infinity Stones before Thanos does, or something. They're going to do something. All I know is they're going inside the quantum realm, and then they're going to visit perhaps other realities or timelines, which was actually, that was my 6th point. I went ahead of myself. 7, we're going to back up a bit. We get a shot of the empty Avengers facility, but we also see a shot of the Milano as well in the earlier trailer, which is empty. And so it's kind of like a parallel of Steve and Tony, like their journeys. Like, he's on this empty vessel, the Avengers are in this empty building, right, which is only occupied by Bruce, Thor, Cap, and Natasha, right, and probably Hawkeye later after they recruit him. And that's the thing too. It's like, so we get this voiceover, like, Cap saying that they lost friends, and you see Nebula touch Tony's shoulder, which a friend of mine on Twitter thinks that this is, Tony's about to die. He's not gonna die, but then you see this. Then he says we lost family. Then we see the hero formerly known as Hawkeye, who is now Ronin, in Japan, and he's, he takes out a bunch of Yakuza, which makes me question, like, why is he going after Yakuza? But I'm started thinking, like, maybe it's a subplot. Like, maybe this has something to do with some scrolls or whatever. Like, we'll find out. But I don't really have a solid theory about Hawkeye's story in this, but I know he has a big part since he wasn't in Infinity War. But we are getting the scrolls on Captain Marvel, so I know they're going to call that back somehow. So maybe that's part of it as well. And number 8, we get a shot of Steve holding his pocket watch that has a picture of Peggy in it, which gives me several thoughts. One thought is that this could perhaps be one of the final, like on the final mission, and he looks at the pocket watch, and this is where he makes his final sacrifice, so to speak, just like he did at the end of Captain America when he had her picture up and he crashed the plane into the ice. Another thought, perhaps, is that they travel back to that time period. Because if they're going to go time hopping or reality hopping, he could perhaps run into Peggy as they go back in time, because remember Red Skull had the Tesseract, which was one of the Infinity Stones, and so they visit that time period. Another thought is that the Avengers are going to let Steve go back in time to live with Peggy and ride off to the sunset with her. That'll be his curtain call, so to speak. If they do that, though, it's definitely going to alter the timeline. But those are just some of my thoughts and ideas of what could happen. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, though. I watched this trailer I don't know how many times. I will say, though, that I am very skeptical because of how the Russos did us last time with the Avengers Infinity War trailer. We got that Battle of Wakanda scene where they all run together, and it wasn't even in the movie. So yeah, I'm very apprehensive. Like, okay, what scene is fake? But I don't think any of the scenes in this one are going to get cut from the movie. I hope not, because like they didn't show a lot of action. It was like a lot of emotion. It's like story-driven trailer more than just like, oh, look at these epic battle scenes. And before I'm gonna get ready to close this out, but my last thing I'm gonna say on this particular video is that as far as my death predictions, I honestly don't think that anybody's gonna die in this one. I think that aside from the greater threat besides Thanos that the Avengers will have to face, I don't think anyone's going to perish. I know the Celestials and Eternals are going to have a part of the story, and they're actually producing a movie with those, but I think that no one's going to die. I think we got most of that in Infinity War. So I think that what we'll get in this one is we'll get a lot of bookends. We'll get a lot of our old heroes like Tony, who's going to ride off in the sunset with Pepper, get married at the end of the movie. I think that Cap's going to ride off to the sunset, probably go back in time with to be with Peggy. But yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of hope, because they took hope from us in Infinity War. The despair continued in this trailer until you get the end with Ant-Man, which provided a lot of this hopeful exuberance, right? Because we know he's going to be the key. So anyway, guys, that's it for this theory video, this trailer breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think. Post your own theories down below in the comments or whatnot. But hey, yo, April 26th cannot get here soon enough. I am super excited about this movie. We all been waiting for this forever. So anyway, guys, take care, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for watching.